And we're live again, Dave.
Boom, back again.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy. I'm happy with our last review, the Superman movie. I'm looking forward to this one though, definitely.
Yeah, this is one I think, probably since a long time since our friendship began, like right at the beginning, I think we've both had very strong feelings about this film.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good topic to to discuss on the reviews. So I'll say it out there. We're going to be reviewing Batman and Robin from 1997, starring George Clooney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Uma Thurman, Chris O'Donnell, and Alicia Silverstone. This was the fifth Batman movie, following up on Val Kilmer's Batman Forever. George Clooney takes over as Batman in this, and now with his established partner Robin, played by Chris O'Donnell, they attempt to stop the bad guy in this film, which is Mr. Freeze, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, as he tries to turn Gotham into an Arctic wasteland with his criminal partner Poison Ivy, and we're introduced obviously to Batgirl as well. So, the summary doesn't sound that bad.
I had to really hold it together just not to laugh through the introduction.
You put it as a summary, you put it as a blurb. It's not bad. It doesn't sound like a bad premise to a film.
Sounds like a terrible movie.
I'm trying to be fair. It doesn't sound.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I will go through what I love about this film first, and then we'll just get into ripping it apart, because that's why you're here. That's what I'm here for anyway. So I was thinking, what do I love about this film? And the thing I love the most is how much it angers people. Like, it really gets under people's skin. Like, it really just destroys Batman on a whole different level. It's like bad goes into a deeper category of bad. It goes to new places, things that you wouldn't have never thought of, got thought up and got made. And I think that's just, I kind of love that in a weird way.
I'll put something good on there. The theme to this Batman, and obviously Batman Forever.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed that theme. I felt it was a good Batman theme, and yeah, that's basically it.
And you like Gotham City, the soundtrack, and R. Kelly in it.
It's a decent song, isn't it? It's a decent song.
Yeah.
But I think music is about it.
No, I bet I can add a few more that you'll agree with.
What that you love? All right.
So the Batman and Robin symbol.
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of like Gotham a little bit. Like this, it's a bit out there, but
what I quite like is the final shot with all three of them running with the light on them.
You actually like that?
No, I'm being serious. I always like that. I always like that look. I was like, oh wow, that's quite cool.
Fine with two.
Obviously, you just sat through the whole film to get there, but the actual the moment is a cool moment. Having Batman, Robin, and Batgirl running towards the screen as they've just saved the day.
I think most people would probably think, "Oh, this is my favorite moment because it's the end." But
that could come into it as well. But I remember as a kid loving this film.
Yeah, I tried to. Yeah,
I absolutely loved this film as a kid. I loved it. I was probably 10 when it came out.
So I can't even remember seeing it. I know it's just one of those films I have seen. Like, I kind of remember posters and toys and stuff, but I don't remember if I went to the cinema or if I just watched it on TV.
Vividly. Went to the cinema and went to Warner Village or whatever it's called at the time. Warner Brothers.
Watford one.
Yeah. And yeah, I just remember afterwards just thinking, wow, that was cool. Didn't at the time did not think about it. And obviously, as it's plainly obvious to anyone listening, this film is not good. And we'll go into the reasons why we believe it's not good. I don't feel like it's really an opinion at this point. It's more of just a statement of fact that it is not a good film. I'll do a couple of.
Can we also say the director has publicly apologized for making. So, you know, that you can't get more proof than that, really.
You know, and I would even say, you know, as some big things, reasons to not like it. Obviously, we'll go into the funnier bits that make us chuckle and just don't make any sense in terms of making a film. But, you know, just one of the big ones, you know, it stained Batman for a long time.
Yeah.
For a long, you know, it was, what, 8 years or something like that, 9 years or something till Batman Begins. It's a long time for Batman, in between Batman films, to be honest.
Here's a fun fact. Bob Kane, the guy who created the character of Batman, this was the last incarnation that he saw of Batman. So you could argue that this film killed him.
Oh man, it is a bad film. It's not good, is it? Okay, so we'll go into some the cons now, because you know I think we're really scratching around for those positive things. For me, just every point of the story is complete nonsense. You know, we start in the Batcave revealing the Batmobile with the disco ball in the front.
I think before that, you got to go before that. It's ridiculous having Arnold Schwarzenegger come first on the titles before George Clooney.
It doesn't start on a good foot, and then as I said, we see we're in the Batcave. The Batmobile comes up. It looks absolutely ridiculous. You know, considering he's supposed to be the Dark Knight, this Cape Crusader, you know, trying to, you know, intimidate the bad guys, and he's got this car that basically lights up. Very, very odd choice there. And the line, Batman's like, hey, Robin comments on the car, and then one of George Clooney's first lines is, "This is why Superman works alone." And it's just, it starts on a really bad foot. You know, you start on a really bad tone for the film, and it just doesn't get any better from there, really, does it?
No, I mean, even when they're suiting up, it's zooming into their butt and their crotch, and you know they're picking up more items than there are hands. So it's like, where you put them in the cape? I don't know. Like it's really, you know, bad for, considering it's similar to Batman Forever, which I actually love. It just
But you think really how bad. That one starts with the fight in the, you know, outside in the bank, you know, in the vault bit, and at least that starts off on a fairly positive, like, oh, this could be quite good. Obviously, there's some very campy bits and maybe some pretty stupid bits, but you know, at least it starts off on the right foot. I feel like that one. This starts off with such a terrible.
Yeah, and then in the car, Commissioner Gordon comes up. He's like, "Batman, there's a new villain in town. His name is Mr. Freeze." And it's like,
no backstory, no anything. Just here's Mr. Freeze. Just here we go.
Yeah, and then you got Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the Terminator. I think the Terminator.
I think he's both one of our favorite. He was for a while one of our favorite, you know, stars. You know, he's not. You wouldn't say an actor. You know, it's hard to say Arnie is an actor, but you loved watching him in so many films. And then this, you know, I think it was probably a few years back when you were like, Ryan, do you realize how bad this film actually is? And I was like, no, it's bad, isn't it? And he goes, no, I don't think. And I think you said, I don't think you really realize how bad it actually is.
We sat down and watched it, didn't we?
I watched it, and I think I turned to you at the end and goes, oh my God. Like, that was awful.
Yeah, really, really bad.
Arnie is one of the biggest reasons why it's so bad. Like, I don't know who was directing him, who wrote the lines, who, you know, informed him that it needed to just be, again, the theme of this film is just complete nonsense. you know, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age, like all of this stuff.
By the way,
So
after he says that, he freezes the dinosaur, and then it crumbles, and the dinosaur roars.
is that where they get the skates out the bottom of the shoes? Don't they?
Yeah, they can. Yeah. Batman and Robin ice skating around with like a hockey puck, or they're smashing the diamond around.
Oh, jeez.
Gravity just doesn't make sense in this film either. Like any sort of physics. You have Robin fly into this museum art place on his bike, and
long fly down, isn't it? As if he's flying.
He smashes it through the wall, and it makes a perfect Robin symbol, like really perfect. And then he smashes into like a pot thing, and then that flies up in the air, and then it lands in Batman's hands, who's on the other side of the room, and he's like, "Good catch." Like, what are we watching?
Oh, just this. That is just it's so bad, and we just and then obviously this as we go along the film, they fall out. Batman and Robin fall out.
Yeah,
Robin decides to go off on his own to do his own thing.
Yeah,
and we have some more nonsense. The terrible Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy.
I've put her as my number one on things I hate about this film. I think I dislike her more than Freeze, to be honest.
Wow. I mean, I think you're right either way, to be honest, because it's so bad in this film.
I watched this a couple of days ago just to have a little recap. I mean, it was painful. I like to stop a few times, but she becomes Poison Ivy by being pushed over a table. The table lands on her, and there's like some acid there. There's some, like venom. And then she comes out of the floor like a plant, and she's like, "I'm different now. I'm like a plant." And it's like, it's so bad.
It's with that old John Glover, Lionel Luthor.
Yeah.
What is that? Like, what was what?
He's a good actor, like Oscar-worthy actor. All of the people acted in this film were supposedly good actors.
Look at George Clooney. George Clooney, a good actor.
Chris O'Donnell, Vertical Limit.
Maybe not.
Yeah, we got to do that one next. Yeah. But just this should have been. What's her name? Poison Ivy. I can't remember her actor.
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman was nominated for an Oscar before this film. So... and
oh man.
Yeah, it's like, how did it, me and Ryan always say, when people are sitting around the table and they're coming up with these ideas, how do they leave? And it's like, oh, it's a good day at the office today. Where's that person that's like, guys, this is trash. Where, why do people like that not exist?
Yeah, like, how does anyone look at each other in the eye and go, that was a really good idea? That was a solid idea. I think we definitely need to carry this on as we're going. Why did no one at the time just think this just doesn't feel right?
It's yeah.
None of this feels right. Like why? Oh, some of the lines Robin says, all beauty, what is it? Like, no beauty, just the beast, or whatever. It like so bad. And as we go along, so we're just talking about story. As we go along, then does Alfred die in the end? He doesn't die, does he?
He doesn't die.
And his granddaughter comes, or his niece, or whatever it is, and and it's Alicia Silverstone, and she's in the house, and she stumbles across the Batcave, and
she types in a password that's 3 letters. That's written. Peg is the password, and then it reveals, that bit, where she finds out that they're Batman and Robin. All the images flash on her face. Now, if you're looking at any screen, that doesn't happen. they would have had to project that onto her face.
Oh, it's so bad, you know, and you know, and then
The virtual Alfred.
Freeze's plan is to steal all these diamonds to power this ice gun to turn the Earth into ice, and he's working Poison Ivy who I guess wants all plant life to survive on Earth, but I'm not sure how their plans work up at all.
They don't work. I mean, what's going to happen? They're going to freeze the world, and then the plants are going to grow. And then what's going to happen? Freeze is going to be there in a not an ice planet. Like it just going to end up.
Oh, and yeah, and then you know, long story short, they all three come back together wearing their silver bat suits with the ice skating car.
It's a toy commercial.
Do you know what I mean? It was awful, wasn't it? And then they had the ice skating car and the bike and the I guess what, a hovercraft. Like
I don't know what it was.
They had like skates on them or something, and oh my god, and then they beat up Freeze
going down the street, isn't it?
Yeah, terrible. And they beat up Freeze, and then that's the end of the film basically, and it's, you know, and that's the start. And the story just makes no sense. No, there's no character development. There's no real, like, you know, trying to think of a standout moment. Maybe that moment between George Clooney and Alfred. Maybe
that was on my list, because, you know, there's little bits of good, little bits of good. You know, you see flashbacks of Alfred looking after Master Bruce, you know, and guiding him, and there's, you know, he's obviously dying, and there's that bit where he sort of says, I love you, old man. And I kind of like that, you know, in all the Batman films, this one explores the possibility of Alfred dying, and, you know, George Clooney, when that line was like, you know, that's pretty cool that he says he loves him. That's a nice moment. But like you say, you're really scraping the barrel.
Trying to find anything redeeming about the film.
And, you know, at the end of the film, when he beats Freeze has got this magical solution in his pocket that fits the drip magically. And then in the morning, Alfred's like, "Hey, I'm okay," and it's, you know, it takes all of the weight away from it.
And then it's, you know, it's in the film, like. Yeah. So yeah, it's hard to.
What's your opinion on like bat nips?
Again, doesn't really make any sense. I get, you know, having like having that outer bit look like he's got muscles to make him look more, you know, intimidating. Like I could sort of see the reasoning behind that. But there is no reasoning you can say to me is like, oh, you need to have the nipples on there. Like,
yeah.
No, there's no reason, and in such detail.
Yeah,
like, you know, they had areolas and everything. Terrible.
Like, I quite like Nightwing's costume though, minus the nips. I think here's the Nightwing costume, and it's Robin, but obviously I quite like it, like the look of that.
Yeah,
and there's bits where Batman looks pretty decent, like when he's in the snow. There's little moments where he doesn't look too bad, but it's just so bad. You know, he turns up and he's like, "Hi, Freeze, I'm Batman." It's like, I bet he probably got a line wrong. "Hi, Freeze, I'm George Clooney." Oh, sorry, it's the wrong thing. You know.
I think with you think about the film as well. Like, you know, we said the story and stuff, but just every aspect of it. Like, there was like I was on my list is the choreography, the actual fighting itself. You know, one of the things Batman, you know, at least has to get right. At least have the fighting right. You know, have it good. It was terrible. Like, people appearing from nowhere, like people just sort of fly, like you said, gravity and physics, and nothing makes any sense. Just
I feel a bit dumber for just like giving this film my time as well.
Yeah, like
when I come back to reality, I do feel a bit smarter. Like, like, oh, I need to soak in some actual, you know, wisdom or something.
Yeah, you know,
my brain is fried. Like, genuinely, like, not trying to be funny. I feel a little bit fried. Like, I'm a bit exhausted right now. Just like,
well, that's the thing. You know, it's just interesting that they doubled down on the campiness when. I assume, you know, I can't really remember. Obviously, I was a kid at the time, but I'm assuming one of the bigger one of the downsides to Batman Forever was probably like, oh, it's a bit campy, but there's some really good bits in there. Maybe go with those good
Batman
bits.
Forever was dark as anything compared to this one.
Oh man, it might as well be the Dark Knight. I mean, like that's how they just went way too far.
There was, when I was watching it again, there was like Scooby Doo noises when people were falling over and slipping, and whoop, and these sort of weird things.
They're just it's hard to sort of to talk about it in order because there's just so many. Because some films just you don't particularly like a film because of X, Y, Z, right? Like there's there's plenty of films. Either each one of us we don't like. We don't like. There's plenty of films that we don't like. But there usually is like an order that you can think of the film and go, I don't like it because of this, this, and this. Whereas because this film in particular is so bad on every level, in every aspect of the film, the tone, the story, the acting, the choreography, the special effects, everything is so bad. It's really hard to just talk about it in a linear sort of ordered way because you're just jumping all over the place. Like, do you remember that bit? This is ridiculous. Yeah, Alicia Silverstone, I guess she'd just done Clueless at the time or something. She was probably quite hot at the time, as a property. And did she do a film? I mean, how many films has she done since then?
I don't know. I don't want to say she's done nothing because I might be wrong, but
yeah. But
if you said Alicia Silverstone, people wouldn't tell you. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I'm not going to say she's done nothing, but I can't. Nothing massive, I don't think.
I think we should talk about the scene because we can't do a Batman and Robin review without the scene.
Which scene which scene are you referencing?
Talk about the auction scene.
When I
talk about not making Batman, this is how you do it. So for those people that don't know what I'm talking about, there's a scene where Poison Ivy is using her love dust to the pheromones in it as making all the guys want her, and she's up for auction. And then basically Batman and Robin auction her, and Batman is saying, like $1 million.
They're bidding on her, aren't they? They're bidding on her, and and they're going toe to toe trying to get her, trying to pay for her, company, as it were.
And it goes, it's like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, and Robin's like 4 million, and Batman's like, you don't have the money, and he's like, I'll borrow it from you, and it basically gets up to 7 million, and he pulls out the Bat credit card. And it makes a ka-ching sound when he does, and on it, the Bat logo and the word "forever" on the expiry date. I mean, genuinely, if there's anyone out there that likes this film, I really would love to know about who they are.
I'd love to know the reason. Like, I'd love to know their breakdown of the film, why, and because there's just so many bad bits. It's not like, that scene ruined the whole film for me. And I've had some of them, but man, it's just so there's so many bad bits as you go along the film.
I mean, we've not even spoke about Bane yet.
Oh my god, we haven't even said anything about Bane.
I mean, is it Bane? It's not Bane, really, is it? But it is Bane.
Yeah, awful. So bad in every way, shape, or form. What waste of a character, what pointless addition to the film.
He just said like bomb Bane.
Yeah, like he's just a mindless, like Frankenstein's monster. Like he just.
There's a scene where he dresses up as a big monkey, and at the end of it, Poison Ivy's like, enough monkey business, and he's like, monkey.
Jeez.
And it's how can people watch this? There's also a bit where she says every Poison Ivy action figure comes with him, and like it genuinely did. You could get Poison Ivy and Bane in action figures.
Really?
Yeah.
So they were advertising the toy in the film.
Whilst, yeah.
So bad, isn't it?
Basically, I mean, if you ever watch these top reviewers, they say, the the film was made to market the toys, and it should be the other way around. You put but this way, this film obviously made a lot of money, but not for good reason.
I wonder how much money it actually made. I mean, I should have really checked. I'd assume it wasn't an absolute shed load, because I'm pretty sure it made less than all the other Batmans that had come out.
Probably.
So that's one of the reasons why they were like, you know what, let's not. Because I was reading up about this. There was a planned third one.
Wow.
Third in the Joel Schumacher. I mean, third as in the third Joel Schumacher films. And supposedly, like George Clooney had signed up, and Alicia Silverstone had signed up, and I think Chris O'Donnell as well. And there was another one planned to go ahead. Can you actually imagine what that film would have been like?
I don't want to think about it.
I mean, that would have been something. Part of me sort of wishes it had gone ahead, because it would have been. It might have been worse. Like, it could have been worse than this, and yeah. So,
I mean, the good thing about this film is it's so bad it's good, and it's one of those films you probably talk about more than you do good films, which is wrong, But it's it made the low lower.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's
really bad, like especially with and I think you could say a positive for Batman and Robin was probably that it showed, that you shouldn't, the people that are making these films don't do this. Don't do this. This is everything bad you could do in a film, in a comic book film. Don't do this. And because of that, we got some really good ones at the start of the millennium and all that. Start of the 2000s, Spider-Man, X-Men, stuff like that. And that's probably because of how bad Batman and Robin was. We got a little bit more serious stuff, less campy, bit more, a bit more palatable, bit more just an even tone, like just. Yeah, I mean, just everything about this. I mean, we haven't even mentioned the surfing, surfing from the rocket in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, before that, he, there's so many chances Freeze has to kill Batman and doesn't.
Doesn't bother.
And there's a bit where when they're up in the rocket, he says, "At 30,000 feet, Batman, your heart will freeze and beat no more." Now that's not accurate. People have been up past 30,000 feet and not frozen at all. It's just I even looked it up just to make sure, but yeah, it's just the logic and the physics in this film are just mental. Yeah, that flying, surfing down to the floor
in the sky and then
catching a diamond, cowabunga.
So many bad bits, isn't it? I mean, and. It's just overall, it's just, if we were going to rate it, it's just a do not watch unless you wanted a really good laugh to just see how bad it actually is.
So my advice would be go and watch every other Batman first, and then watch this one last, and then try and work out what happened, because I would say you have to see it, because
part of me would love to.
Why not watch the worst film ever?
Yeah, it's got to be up there. It's up there as one of the worst comic book films ever. Definitely.
I mean, potentially, yeah. I mean, no, there's probably a lot of worse films than this, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, there's probably worse films, like terrible acting, terrible the way it looks and stuff.
I think it was great. About
film, there aren't many worse.
No, I was going to say. I tell you what's great about it. The more you dig into this film, the more stuff you find and you uncover, and it's not good stuff.
Yeah, no, it's never good stuff. It's never like, that's actually quite good. It's always, no, that wasn't good.
Really, really not good.
Really not good. And yeah,
you do lose. You like genuinely will lose a few brain cells, through like the stupidity.
So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say anything positive about it and hard to say recommended or anything. So it's definitely a no recommend. Do not watch from me. And David, from you?
I'm gonna say go watch it because it is so bad.
But yeah,
go have a beer, and sit down like you're gonna go watch The Dark Knight, and just yeah, that's fine. Go see it because I'm sort of if I've seen it, I'm bringing everyone down with me.
That's fair. It is one of. I feel like you have to watch it if you haven't seen it because it's not good. But I wouldn't. I'm not gonna. I can't put. I wouldn't put my reputation as small and as little as it is on watching it because it's just so bad. So bad. So I'm gonna say do not watch. But if you're curious, you would have a good laugh. Definitely. I think that's it for this week. Next week, I don't think we've decided what we're going to review. Maybe we'll have a think. Maybe we'll go off of comic book films, maybe to some of our other favorite films. Maybe you pick one, I pick one. I'm not sure. But we'll have a think and we'll come back and we'll review again. And so thanks a lot for listening last time. We had actually quite a few views last time, which was nice. I think it was 70 odd. I think it ended up, which is cool. And so hopefully, we this one's as entertaining as the first one, and and we'll get a few more. So we'll carry on this because it's mostly for me and Dave just to chat and laugh and joke. And if you guys, are entertained by it, then obviously we'll carry on. But I hope you enjoy and thanks for listening.
Talk about going from one incredible film to then reviewing this.
Yeah, we had to really polar opposites, but
really polar. But I really enjoyed preparing for this. I have to say, I laughed a lot in preparation, and
we've discussed this a lot between each other, a lot at length over the years. So it's fun to get that down. But yeah, maybe we'll put a film on. We'll review a film that's not comic book related, but maybe we do. I don't know. So we'll see because we both love comic book films. So it's an easy one to talk about. So that's it from me. And goodbye and thanks for listening.
Cool. See you later.
See ya.